I am Butterfly Goddess, your spiritual guidance messenger, and I'm trying to record this from my laptop, so y'all work with me. I know the imagery over here is something else, and I'm hoping this thing is recording because, baby, I ran out of patience this week. And this is really a past life slash what's going on in your life today type of reading because of what happened in your past life. So I had this dream about a past life memory of growing up in Mexico, and now I'm getting all the downloads. So your name could be Maria, your name could be Rosa. I know I wrote down Rosa originally. So you were wearing a white blouse with a long yellow skirt. You may have had burgundy or dark hair then, or even now. You probably could wear it some type of way in that style. Um, you were literally on a red brick road. Let me say this correctly. Walking and dancing with like a mariachi band. Like you were very happy. Life was simple. It was simplistic, and you just had a lot going on. And at that time, your grandma and your mother were healers. Were considered to be healers in this past life, and they were stoned to death in this some part of Mexico. And yeah, so you guys were all considered witches and other things that they called you back then that I really couldn't comprehend, and I doubt I could say it in Spanish. I don't know that much. I know some cuss words. I might know some cuss words. I don't know. But let me get this. This didn't even want to light. That's what I'm saying. Let me get this lit because I see right now there's a lot going on in this reading, darling. When I tell you, set your positive intentions and get rid of any negative thoughts real quick about this, and I'm gonna turn this off. But yeah, so what I'm gaining from this is that at the time you were an actual child and you had other siblings, and you guys had to witness your grandmother and your mother be stoned to death. So you had one sibling who went immediately dark because of the misfortunate the untimely fortune of the grandma and the mother. And then you had another sibling that just went straight light. I'm not gonna let what happened, guide me in this direction. And then the third sibling number three, was equally balanced with both. That person. I felt like I was gonna say she. So I hope I'm hearing it now. So it was a boy, girl. So Raphael probably went dark, if not Maria or Rose. I don't know. Anyway, two girls and a boy. Here's the thing. The way these cards landed, I promise you, I kid you not. I feel like a lot of you right now are probably feeling imprisoned in your mind. Like you feel like you're being brainwashed, like you're being taunted, like you're being tortured right now because of your thoughts, and you want to come out of those thoughts, but you can't because you keep foreseeing these past dreams, and the reason why, or these past lives, is because you're the seer. So your hair concurrently, couldn't even say it concurrently. uh, yeah, right now your hair could be red since they took the word out of my mouth. Um, I feel like whoever did the dirty deed back then kind of robbed you of your fortune then, but it's being reversed. Like what I see is it's being reversed, and I'm gonna go sibling to sibling. I hope so. One of the siblings, literally, this could be Maria or Rosa, and I'm gonna write Maria's name down because it wasn't on here, or Raphael. Raphael is actually Archangel. Okay, okay. I'm just Let me write this down because baby, it's a lot going on in this reading, and I'm gonna write down Raphael because that was the brother's name. He was named after an angel. Anywho, one of the sisters had a very foolish heart, and she would always find men who would that she would fall in love with, and then everything about them was always so wrong. So let's just say maybe the sister with the lightest heart was very much a fool for the darkest hearts, and she fell into a lot of different addictions and addictive patterns due to love. So I feel like this is, her. her feelings on the inside. She was, addicted to finding love and wanted a spouse and a lover, and she always found guys like this. And I'm trying to figure out where the heck this camera at, because my hand went all the way to sideways. So yeah. Ooh. Anyway, so this person definitely took on characteristics of whoever she was in love with at the time. And that sister fell heavy to addictions and fell in line with even the dark side, even though she was the lighter sister. Like, she followed the light, but because of the love life she chose, she fell into darkness and dark patterns with this young man. And it caused a lot of destruction. It caused, envy, jealousy. I think this person was like guided to be with her because they wanted to really see if this sibling had the gifts of the mother and the grandmother, but it's a whole new era. And they didn't believe in stoning then, and I think they realized they were wrong then. And she was a natural healer, but because of this person's negative energy and addictions, she wasn't a healer. She was healing. She wasn't healing. Whatever she was putting out to the earth, it was not coming back in a good way. So I think it caused a chain reaction, and yeah, it was a lot going on there. But I have all the sisters mapped out. I felt like there was one who just kind of fell apart. The darker one, she went into, yeah, the lighter one went and been a fool for, yeah, we're gonna get all this out. and found addictions. And this is how things work, pan out, especially when you're gifted. So the darker one, had a lot of self doubt about, the skills and this and that and the other. But she became more of a warrior. Like, well, warrior. I feel like she's a warrior still in this life. She's very defiant. Maybe like her characteristics is like, or is that the brother? No, the brother. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute, they're pulling me back. The brother went to the darker side, and honestly, he was the one who was imprisoned, and then he was robbing people and doing things, basically to make a living, I think, for his sisters. And then I'm going to give these ones, I'm going to put a name on both of them. That way I can come back to it. But why are they telling me to do this in the middle of a video? Come on, man. I don't know. So just say this. The brother went dark. I said that in the beginning. The brother went dark. So he went down a different path than all of you guys. And the sister went to the lighter one. She was the fool. I'm going to make this one. I'm going to say Maria. Maria went with the light. And the Rosa was the one that I channeled earlier before the reading. I'm going to say she was the balanced one. She had both, because this is definitely a story. And then Raphael, of course, went dark. More so dark. Brother, dark. And he began robbing and stealing, and he was imprisoned. And he just, poverty came over you guys. You guys had to care for each other. And that wouldn't have occurred had they not, stoned your mother and your grandmother, because there was a father in the picture, and a grandfather, but I think they became like terminally ill due to the loss of their partners. Like, they didn't move on from that. So it was a very big thing. Anyway, let me get this correct. So I'm going to do that. So listen, so he was in prison for like a long time, and he just grew darker. Like, he grew darker because as he sat alone, his only thoughts were very negative. He had all the negative connotations. And I'm getting to this. I'm getting to this because they said, I'm going to tell you at the end what to do with these jars. But the negative connotations, he got to sit in his spirit, but he didn't use his time wisely. Like, he didn't think about all the good things he could really do once he realized he had the same powers as his mother and his grandmother. He didn't realize what he was supposed to do with them. So when he got out, he used his gifts to, he manifested it, but he didn't earn it correctly. He took things, he robbed, he stole. He robbed and he stole. And I feel like he was trying to get back what they had taken from him as a young child. So that makes sense. So there was a lot of discipline and some unorganized harmony, but I feel like it was a lot going on with all of you. And you all kind of went your separate ways as adults. Like I said, we have Maria. She found love. She found love with a man who was dark, and she fell into addictions, and her life is just kind of going into a destructive pattern. Meanwhile, Raphael just started off and left. I mean, just went on to a destructive pattern, and things just got to be a little difficult. It literally just, and like I said, some of you are seers, and currently in this life you have the red hair, and your names could still be the exact same names or the same letters in those names. And yeah, you probably grew up in Mexico, or I can't see any other place. I'm not hearing any other language. So if you're experiencing any self-doubt right now, let me go ahead and transfer on to the other sister. See, the other sister was a healer and a herbalist, and she was able to find a passionate place to live in, to go hide. Like, she found a sanctuary to where she was able to adapt to both of her gifts. Mind you, she went dark and light, and she balanced the two. It was like she was from a different world. It's like she found something that you guys didn't find. Like, she was witnessing asteroids falling out the sky. She was able to obtain some type of powers that even made the current gifts even more powerful, and she became like a leader of her fucking castle. And she married. Yeah, she found love too, baby. I promise you, she found a love that she controlled, a love that she ran, that was most powerful. And he gave her the leadership role. He made her the person of authority. So not only did she get to play with fire and water and all the rest of them elements, baby, she brought them all together as a whole. And as I said, before she even ever got into this marriage with this powerful other source that she combined with, she was given all this information to, an out of universe type. She had an out of body experience where the universe told her what to do, where to go, and who to find it with. And I believe she found this love, this powerful other being, like-minded like her, in this, passing through this aura garden. You know what I'm saying? And that's how she became an herbalist. And she knew how to, well, she was already given the gifts as a healer from her grandmother and her mother, so pay attention. So she was able to make up things, even if it was a spell in love. She probably I don't know. Like I said, she dabbled in both. So she could have loved spell homeboy, but I don't know that she did that. I just felt like that's what they were saying. But I think the beauty, the natural beauty of the ladies, given the burgundy and the dark brown hair essence, was very much so giving for any man to fall in love with deeply. So yeah, let me go ahead. Both sisters, all siblings are seers. So they had the visual, they had the clairessence, they had the herbalist, yeah, the healing prospects. They knew, things that the grandma and our mother had to do, to heal certain people. And like I said, all of them at one time felt very mislocated, or what the fuck, did this video stop? Oh, it did. Oh, I was about to say, I'm not doing this over. This is a lot. Okay. So I think what ended up happening in this past life is, the brother ended up getting tormented and he ended up getting killed. That was Raphael. And I believe Archangel Raquel reached out to both sisters. And remember, like I said, only one had the ability to be both. And the other one was just with the light. But because she went into the addictions, she was probably in a dark place by then. And she felt like she wasn't going to be able to do anything, not even, to send for. But she was sent for. She was sent for, because with them being able to see visually, they were able to kind of communicate telepathically even back then. Like, they knew something was wrong. Each person knew something was wrong at the time, especially with the brother being casted out, I should say. Anyway, Rosa learned the ins and outs about the lands. So she was like in a the authoritative spirit. Remember, she got the leadership, the person of authority. So she was able to scour the lands. She knew the lands inside and out. Like she knew the land. Like there was nothing about the land she didn't know. She knew where the water run, if it was running a different direction, what was coming, if those tree leaves was dying and what was in it. It was She was one of those. Oh my gosh. Tell me why this freaking computer is messing up. I cannot make this mess up. They are freaking trying to stop me. Oh my god, this is so long. Okay. I cannot. She was sent something from, outer space. Something about a crash. A plane had crashed somewhere in The Secret of Camelot. And she was